The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
Good afternoon, and it is a beautiful October 12th here at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day down here at Clearwater. These are the kind of, about the next 60 days are going to be about the best days that you could ever have. Kind of reminds me of my days growing up in Hawaii. Perfect temperature. The bugs have been blown away, and just a nice, cool 65-degree nights and 78, 82-degree days. Yeah, it just doesn't get any better than that. Today is Friday, October 12th, and as always, we start off the show with whatever special observance it is, and today it's Free Thought Day. It celebrates the end of the Salem witch trials, and of course this is October, so I've always wondered why Halloween came in October, other than it's kind of neat and probably the scariest time of year. You got some leaves blowing around, you've got pumpkins. I'm sure there's probably a lot more to it, but this is Free Thought Day, when people could actually have free thoughts. Of course, there were probably a few witches among them, but my guess is that probably a lot more mentally ill women were burned at the stake because of it. And just remind us how stupid groupthink can actually be when, of course, we don't burn too many more witches at the stake anymore. And like all civilizations, hopefully we learn from our mistakes. But it is, it's great. Anyway, a beautiful day out here at TFNN.com. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We'll be glad to take your calls. Just checking in to see what we have in the marketplace. We've been looking for 1424 on the S&P, and did we get that yet? We were a point higher earlier. I didn't see whether it came back in. No, still 1425.53. So we are right at support. Volume's 1.8 billion shares, and probably 1.9 billion shares. And that's not a whole lot. It is Friday. We are in options expiration mode. That is the third Friday of every single month. We had Wednesday where we have some fairly decent, probably fairly decent clue as to how options expiration going to be. So, 80-85% of the time it's bullish for the next few days, but we'll continue seeing a little bit of weakness. You have to be very quick on the trigger here if you're going to be short, which I am. But we continue to see a lot of these stocks continue to weaken. My nightly scans that I do for the Path of Least Resistance, which you can always go and get a free 2-week trial of. Normally when you see a low like this that's buyable, I'm going to see more than a handful of stocks testing previous lows on lighter volume. Right now I've got a handful of them, but not a lot that would make me think that we've had any kind of high out here. I still think that we could see a move back down to confluence at about 1350 on the S&P. And unless I see something, we could have just a light volume pullback that still would have us in a bullish mode back to 1350 on the S&P. I suspect that the market does not like unknowns, and right now I think it thinks that the election's unknown. Maybe it thought that as a collective group, the wisdom of crowds, maybe 2 weeks ago they thought the election was over, but I don't think they do now. I think we're starting to see a little bit of the worry creep into the market, which is always good, even if you're, especially if you're bullish. If you have no bears left, there's nobody left to buy into the market at the top and move it a little higher. So just some thoughts. Out here in the news, Windows 8 is pricing now. If you go to Newegg, you can order a copy that will ship for you to receive on the 26th of October. Windows 8 Professional, the upgrade is about $70. There's going to be one that's, I think, a direct download for even less, but I don't think that's on Newegg's pricing. I think you can probably get it. I think I saw something as much as $45. Windows 8 Pro Pack, which is going to be about $69. No Media, which is a direct download. Video, Windows 8 full version, the OEM kit is $100, and the Pro full version, which means that you've never owned a copy of Windows XP or Windows Vista or Windows 7, will be $140 at the highest price. We've heard, and we'll get to it in a minute, I think maybe we brought it up yesterday, and that is that Ballmer did not get his, who's the CEO of Microsoft, did not get a decent bonus. Basically, he got a little coal for his Christmas stocking for his bonus this year. They didn't like that he managed two things poorly. I suspect that is the shot across the bow if Windows 8, both phone, tablet, and PC does not roll out well, it is going to be a problem. Now, I think a lot of people are thinking, well, people have Windows XP and that's it. There's nothing you can do to get these people to upgrade. Remember that there are not going to be any more upgrades to Windows XP, and they're going to also turn off the system for actually authorizing Windows XP. So you can go back and try to, I think you've got a couple more months where you can install it, but there will be no way to bypass the check for validity. I think, what do they call it? The validation for installing it, and then that will be the end of it. You won't be installing, of course, Windows XP, kind of one of those operating systems you have to reinstall about every year. It's got enough little flaws in it that keep it going. Of course, they've had 3 service packs for it. It's out here, been out for 12 years. Microsoft really wants to push it. Ballmer has said anywhere from 350 to 500 million copies of Windows 8 across tablets, phones, and PCs in the next year. If they do that, it's a $50 stock. My guess is that I'm thinking somewhere around $37 this fall if the market doesn't take a giant tumble. We'll say that let's say that we're around $14.50 by December 25th. I think it could be, if they do it right, about $37 on Microsoft. If the market tanks, it doesn't matter how well they do. The Microsoft is in every one of those EFTs, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100. If everything sells, people will be forced to sell at least part of it or some of it. It may hold up better, but you know, it's going to be a great deal of how the market does in general. I am bearish, at least through the election, or up to the election, and we'll see what happens after that. But I am short and enjoying it at the moment. We see the market around that 1427 level on the S&P, and we'll continue to see how well this thing does do. Let's see if I can get a few things moved around here on my desktop so I can continue doing it. I want to appreciate my engineers and producers for actually playing a decent song leading into this show today. I've been haranguing them for playing bad 80s disco bar music for a while now, and we actually had a Grammy winner. I love that Songs in the Key of Life. If you don't listen, if you listen probably archived, you probably don't get to hear the lead-in music. But if you're in the den, or if you're me, you do. And that's all that really matters. So anyway, we've seen the Windows 8 pricing going along. You got to start me off with a good mood, Steve. That's just remember that. Just that music leads right in and gets me started for the day. Anyway, Workday did come out today. Workday is something we've been talking about both on this show and in the Tech Insider part of the show. If you were lucky enough to get a few shares like I did, I punted them out pretty much at the open, but not too bad. You should be in them about $28, $29, and should have been able to get out for about $48. You're not going to probably get too many shares. Vastly oversubscribed. The company raised $637 million by pricing 22.75 million Class A shares, but that also leaves 3.9 billion shares outstanding, if that number is right. I'm trying to remember how it all works out, but I suspect a lot of those are going to be withheld for a while. This company is like Paychex, but they are doing it all cloud related and software as a service, and that's basically everything. You're checking off every box on how well a company can be received. One, it's in the paycheck business. Two, it's got two great CEOs that ran PeopleSoft before. Three, everything that you can check off that a good company should have, it does right now. The one thing it does not have, and I looked through the documents, I looked everywhere. They did some revised documents and why I sold it. There's nowhere that I can find where the lockups are and where they expire. And two, if you get $20 on the first day, you're stupid not to sell it. So anyway, gonna continue watching that. What did we got here? $49 now. So not a bad little thing. And of course, even if you just got 100 shares, $20 move is not too bad. A little coin to tide you over the weekend at least. We're going to go through some of the other stocks that have done well lately in IPOs, especially after Facebook. The 16th, we have Facebook's additional 275 million shares. And then, of course, mid-November, the big kahuna of about 1.2 billion shares coming out of lockup. So we've got to be watching these lockup periods fairly closely, and we'll continue. Workday symbol is WDAY. For the DIN, somebody had a question. Of course, you can always, going to be kind of interesting. But to watch this one, if this thing comes back, it may take 180 days to get out of the lockup period. If the market really pulled back or started pulling back, this is one you probably want to watch because it's got literally everything that market participants on the street with big funds love. And, of course, they're very familiar with the previous executives from PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft got ate up in about 2005. There was some problems, and they were working through them. But a lot of the people that ran the company decided to go ahead and punt and take the money from Oracle. But I don't know if it was a bad deal or not. I think that they would have done just fine continuing on by themselves. But the great thief of Baghdad out there from Oracle decided to make a hostile takeover and made them a deal that they could not refuse. Either your brains or your signature is going to be on this paper, and that was it. So it is what it is. Anyway, Workaday, keep a watch on that one. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A little interesting news out here. Maybe a little Schadenfreude. We'll be thinking about that. Anyway.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
80% of traders fail because they don't know when to get in or out of a market, and all because no one taught them how to read the signs. You see, the stock market has a universal language called Japanese candlesticks, and each day, the buyers and sellers, the bulls and bears, go to work and build signs. This language has been around for thousands of years, and it's easy to learn. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters Show, and I'm a master sign builder. Download my free report, Candlesticks, The Speed of Trust, on the homepage of TFNN.com for one of the best-kept candlestick secrets. I'll also be conducting an online course Friday, October 19th, to teach you the language of the market's sign builders. You'll learn the best entry and exit techniques and strategies that will create extraordinary rewards. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you like, because trading or investing without learning this language is like running a red light. It's an accident waiting to happen, and there's no airbags or seatbelts. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we're going to do a little bit of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, Robert Kiyosaki, author of the best-selling Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection after losing nearly $24 million court settlement to the Learning Annex, who I guess was publishing a lot of the stuff that they're doing, and we could not see it. And if we've got our engineer trying to send me an IM, I do not see it. So he's maybe not on the same one that I'm on. So maybe we can figure out what's going on here. I'm in the TFNN. Oh, there we go. Finally. Maybe something's going on. Well, I thought we had a little call. We've got Nick from Titusville. How you doing today, Nick?
Pretty good. Yourself, sir?
Fantastic. Other than a miserable trip over here today where I caught every stoplight and every accident. But I think that I'm going to have a smooth drive home tonight. I'm just hoping for it. Just seems like those little things can be bigger than really bad things in your life. Just hitting every stoplight is like made me nervous today.
Definitely.
Anyway, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, since Windows 8 is coming out and Dell's picking it up in all-day units, I was wondering if it'd be a good time to get into Dell. And
you know, I think it's going to be very close to, we got a little bit of movement up here today, but I suspect you're going to look a lot closer, and maybe even right between when it's announced and the week after. I'm going to get into it a little bit, but the advertising budget for Windows 8 is going to be $1.5 billion. Microsoft is going to spend $1.5 billion, that's with a B, $billion pushing Windows 8. So I think that what you're doing is good. I would rather play the primary, which is Microsoft, or maybe something else than that. Margins are not very good on Dell. You may get a good short squeeze on it if you're talking about a trade. If you're looking a little longer, you probably want to watch Microsoft itself. You understand that? Because Microsoft, basically when you make software, in fact, I even did a entire Tech Insider today. Do you get that by chance?
No, sir.
Okay. You can sign up for a free 2-week trial. But if you really want to see what really understand margins, I did a special on margins today in the Tech Insider, so you can get a 2-week trial and just look at it. But you're talking about a company making 5, 8, 10% margins. And even if they sell a lot, they're still only going to be making 10% margins. Microsoft, on the other hand, is going to be making, once they finish the development of the software, if they're selling it for $69, they're probably making 50. So which company would you rather invest in?
Well, Microsoft's coming out on 10/26 with 8.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that Microsoft's going to be selling a ton of these things, making $50 on $69 sale. Or would you rather have them trying to make $30 or $40 at Dell on a $450 sell? And what I'm just saying is just the margins are incredible on Microsoft. I don't understand, other than maybe a 2 or 3 day play, where this thing, if it gets short squeeze, could run from maybe all the way up to $12, which is not bad. It's a 20% move. So I can understand that. It just depends on whether or not you want a quick trade, or if you want to hold something a little bit longer, which I think Microsoft might have a nice run for 17 months or something out of here.
Yeah, I'm only looking for a short trade.
Okay, Dell would be nice. You've got to, you probably have, I'm going to say, another week, maybe, for this thing to base out. And it's not going to be any good if the market's headed down anyway. And of course, we're down here right at support today. So if the S&P closes below, we'll say 1424, you can probably look at this thing going to 1390. So I would go ahead and say, look at the close today, and if you get it closed below that 1424, look at the S&P at about 1390, and look at Dell and see whether you want to buy it at that point.
I see.
But I'm thinking it's going to be, the market's probably going to be under pressure until after the election. I am short several things, but Microsoft and Dell probably wouldn't be either one of them. Dell, I'm trying to think if there was a better move. I would look at both. If you're looking at this, look at the charts also exactly at the same time of AMD and Intel. And I'd be looking at all three of those to see whether or not you wanted to pull the trigger on Dell.
Okay, I appreciate that, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be back in a minute with Mohammed. We'll be talking some housing here, and we'll be right back.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. TFNN and Great Panther Silver have teamed up for another exciting silver giveaway. The Great Panther Silver Halloween giveaway will be taking place at the end of October, and for 3 full days, we'll be giving away silver coins and bars every hour from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. to one lucky winner randomly chosen. There's no purchase necessary. For more information and to fill out your registration form today, simply visit the front page of TFNN.com where you'll find all the details. October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll choose one lucky winner that will receive a silver coin or bar courtesy of Great Panther Silver. Winners will be announced live on the air each hour for 3 full days. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to win free silver from TFNN and Great Panther Silver. Register today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and for more information on Great Panther Silver, you can click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com, or check them out on the NYSE Amex, symbol GPL, or on the Toronto Stock Exchange, symbol GPR. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we've got another phone call already. I guess everybody's saving them up for the end of the week. I am going to be gone next week, so probably a good thing to get your phone calls in today at 877-927-6648. And we go to Mohammed in Glendale, California. How you doing there, Mohammed?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So
thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. So we're looking at Toll Brothers, right?
Right.
So what do you think? What are you thinking of doing here?
I'm thinking about shorting it. It's kind of formed a bearish engulfing yesterday. I don't know if is it kind of late to short it? Or
well, certainly late, but the other thing is you don't have a test of the top. So, I would still say that you want to have a test. The other thing is, do you see that high volume day that happened on, September 22nd?
September 22nd.
10.6 million shares.
Right.
Okay, we're kind of just into that right now with about 2 million shares. There's a couple other days in here that, are about equal volume. Too much of a flip of the coin for me. I would rather see very light volume and go long, or very heavy volume and wait for a bounce to short it. You've got neither. So, I just don't think you have a very good hand one way or the other here. If you went back up and tested $37.08 on, let's say, 2 million shares or 2.5 million shares from that September 22nd high or 21st high, then you would have something that I would possibly short. Or if you get a little ABC up, you've got kind of a little ABC down, and it probably is coming right in maybe another buck or so, and that's going to be it. And you're in, of course, the last big candle out here is, it's the top of that high, $32.24, and you're right at that today. So I suspect you're at a little bit of temporary support levels. If this market, could you short it? I would say that there's still, I'd say there are a lot better shorts out there. Let me put it that way. You need to get some kind of test to the top to let you know that it's done. Two, I don't like that every fund and their dog's in this thing. It could still be a dog and want to go down, and they'll pop it up, sell it in, and that's where you want to go short. So you need to, even if you took the most conservative look at this thing, you still need at least $35 on this and a lower volume high up there, about $35.25. My guess is if this market does not fail, you will see this thing come back and expire right about $35 next week. And next Friday, if you're still thinking of shorting it, that may be one place to hit it. But I dislike that you don't have a test at the top. You had enough volume up there, about 4 million shares. And I dislike, just taking a shot on ones that haven't retested on lighter volume. So there are a bunch of stocks out there. A lot of them have already failed or starting ABC downs. But this one's already pretty much, got its little, at least a small ABC down with this another $1 to go on it. So you really need probably at least 35, 36. And if it was on infinitesimal volume, I might pull the trigger. But I would really like to see 37.08 on it.
All right. Thank you so much, David.
You bet. Yeah, just keeping your risk reward and everything. You'd like to see at least some kind of test that most people will look at. And if they get up there $37, and it may just continue down, but your risk reward just can't be set up until you get up and test that high. Thanks for the call, Mohammed. Anyway, we're going to go back to just to finish up the news here today. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Apparently everybody in the den is popping it out, but kind of interesting just to see the guy that's supposed to be Rich Dad filing for Chapter 7. Maybe that's an indication. But when you dig into it, there's a little bit more in that. And it goes to kind of a fight that a lot of these guys have. I remember, Tony Robbins had the same fight with the guys that made him successful on those infomercials. And he got in a big fight with them about it and eventually got extricated. But a lot of these guys that can't control their destiny or pair up with other companies always seem to live to regret it. And this looks to me like a much bigger deal where he's hiding a lot of assets and filing for Chapter 7 and trying to negotiate with the Learning Index a probably much lower number to power out there. I did find out that overall he's supposed to be worth about $80 million right now, so I don't think we have to have a little charity and a walkathon for him. But I suspect that this has a lot more to do, kind of like the record industry. They never really kind of told everybody, how many records they were truly selling out there. And of course it was kind of hard, to go out there and find out how as an artist, how bad you were being cheated. This is kind of on the other side of that, but at least the court says that he owes that money, but I think he'll fight it. There's lots of ways to put money away and things like, I don't know if you can still do it, but I remember like in the 80s and 90s, you could stick all your money into life insurance, claim bankruptcy, and they couldn't touch it. And then, of course, you cashed your policy back in, and yeah, maybe it cost you 10%, but you had your $20 million out there. Not a bad deal. So anyway, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is more like Poor Dad today. The bad news for Amazon keeps on coming. Best Buy will price match any of its products against those online through the Christmas seasons. People like Amazon and Walmart probably going to be hurt by this. But the Best Buy company is trying to fight at least to keep people walking in the store, buying things, even if they don't make a lot of money, and thinking that it's better to take a sale away from Amazon or Walmart or some of these other companies that are selling online if you can go there and get it for free. Of course, Amazon this week being chased down by Oracle and other companies that are going after their online business. Of course, what was it, 5 or 6 states now they're collecting taxes on sales tax, so they've lost that thing. So Amazon needs to quickly move with their tablet business and their at least Oracle going after their cloud services business. But it's going to be very interesting anyway. Yeah. They're going to try to get rid of what they call showrooming, and I'm one of the biggest showroomers out there. I go right in there and I'm checking prices on my smartphone. A lot of people that are looking at thinking this market that you can go long on it. One thing that has discouraged me from being long for a while is discontinuing the amount of rail traffic out there, especially if you're looking at maybe one of these rail companies to buy. There is some decent decent chart out here from a company called Orcam. They've been tracking the actual weekly rail traffic since 2008. And probably a nice chart to look at, keep on board. You can just Google Orcam if you want and check it. But they've been keeping this up. But we continue to see kind of at least no sense that the business is picking up and they're shipping a lot more product. My biggest problem is that if you do see Obama continue or win the election. We brought this up before. He's basically saying that of the 200 or 300 coal fire plants that are out there now, he wants to shut them all down. Actually, by 2014, he would cut out another 200 of them. Of course, the biggest amount of money that comes into these rail companies is from transporting coal. They do just massive amounts of it. It's very heavy and it makes them a ton of money. So I would say this is one of the charts you want to keep a look at, but it's going to be great. All those train companies are going to be greatly affected by the election, probably more than any other single sector out there. So keep a look at this. I know we've talked about them popping last week. But we continue to watch this. But if you start thinking that the market's going to, or at least the market's going to turn up, we talked yesterday about FedEx's shipping continually going down, and that was just from Monday. Those numbers were out. We want to see the same thing in rail traffic. It's a lot easier to see markets getting ready to move up and seeing those green shoots that people talked about a year and a half ago. And we're going to see it first in things like FedEx traffic and rail traffic, even if it's not just things like coal out here. Government hiring, we're looking a little bit more at these jobs numbers lately. Since about 6/1, almost all the growth in that we've seen in jobs numbers has now been accounted for. The Bureau of Labor Statistics did come out with the data yesterday, and it's been put in wonderful graph form. But this is not uncommon. We talked about a bias every year of an election year. If the government has an opportunity to do it, they will throw most of the money right before the election to make things look like they're getting better. This is no different, but we're looking at job numbers, and almost all of them, about 80% of them, are in the government sector since about the middle of the summer. But these are in thousands. But Bureau of Labor Statistics, not a bad deal when you can get the numbers. Of course, they left out the California numbers yesterday. We're probably not going to really see those all wrapped up again until next week. And that's it for the news. We're going to go to a few charts. I wanted to actually go to some of the other stocks that had been doing, that had been strong IPOs, because we'd seen such a good move in Workday today. And maybe these are stocks you haven't started looking at. They haven't been out long enough, but are starting to get out there. And we need to see. You need to check all of these for lockup periods. But these have been fairly strong IPOs. Want to finish up the show on these and maybe some other things as we check it. Let me get back up here. Let's see. But anyway, one of them is ServiceNow Incorporated. The symbol is NOW. And when we talk about, the market's pulled back, this is pulling out or back fairly too. These are some of the ones that didn't instantly blow up and become the next Zynga or Groupon or the rest of them, and probably deserve a longer term look, maybe not today, but when we see Workday moving like that. Service.now provides enterprise information technology management as software as a service, and ServiceNow not doing too bad. This thing is probably going to be moving back over time, back down to the low of, July 12th out here. It's about $32. If the market pulled back and everything, you probably want to be looking at it in this nice gap that is around, $22? I suspect this thing could fairly easily move back to that high volume day where it came out, and that is about $22. Another one that you probably want to put on your radar, and this one actually doesn't look too bad. This may be something like a LinkedIn that can continue up. If the market fails here, no such luck, but we get a rally out of here. I'm going to be watching very hard on Palo Alto Networks. This is kind of like a FFIV and some of the other ones in that neighborhood. PANW, Palo Alto Networks. And this one is actually basing out not too bad here, around the, close about $62, 62 and a half. This thing, it hasn't been out there that long, but another one that's not below its IPO price and that we need to keep a look at. Another one that actually has been out just a little bit longer and not giving a bad little signal here even today is Splunk. I don't like the name. It just kind of makes me feel a little bit dirty, but I don't know what exactly. Trying to remember. But they had a nice, huge move out here. I think they actually announced earnings on the 31st of August. This thing popped good on 3.5 million shares. It's slowly been working back to fill that gap. And, the last 3 days, 3.5 million shares been tested by about 1.5 million shares. Very light volume today out here. If we do see some kind of big rally into expiration next week, this was another one that I'd want to be keeping on my radar out here. We got about a minute here. Let's check in on a couple of ones. INTC. Intel. I want to check a few of these other ones and see, not a whole lot of movement back down here. We've been looking at Intel a little bit weak. AMD came out, moved their forecast down a bit also. But not a bad deal out here. We've probably got a little bit more room for Intel to pull back. That's one of the reasons also that I wanted to get into with who was our caller back there about Nick from Titusville about buying Dell, and I thought maybe you had a little bit more movement out there, but you've got some fairly high volume and a low back in here, about maybe a buck lower. So I'm thinking that both Intel, Dell, a lot of these have just a little bit more room to pull back before we start seeing the Windows 8 upgrade cycle. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking a lot about Microsoft 2 tonight in the Tech Insider Hour.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll you'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb, he made it better. As the fourth most prolific inventor, Edison found that most people failed because they failed to realize how close they were to success before they gave up. Success requires a few disciplines, practice each day. When it comes to trading and investing, one of those disciplines is understanding and acknowledging the language of the markets. For centuries, Japanese candlestick charting has unlocked the hidden treasures of the language of the bulls and the bears, the buyers and the sellers. Candlestick charting is a tool, not a trading system. Candlesticks tell you when to enter, when to exit, and identify the risk and reward for every trade. Candlesticks identify market turns before they happen. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, and on Friday, October 19th, I'll be conducting an online one-day course teaching you the secrets of Japanese candlestick charting. Go to the homepage at tfnn.com and sign up today, because candlesticks will make you a better trader.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
You know, we've got expiration coming up a week from Friday, and this, I'm starting to think maybe a lot of this may be expiration related. If it is, and this is a downtrend in expiration, we'll probably have a couple of days out here of wiggling around and finding a low. But normally you find the low probably by Wednesday of expiration week, and then it either goes sideways or up a little bit. There's a lot of short stocks out here with very high short interest. And if you're talking about a very short play, I suspect, until this market has some kind of different outlook, but right now I'm looking negative, I would probably wait until Wednesday to see whether or not this thing starts to move. But, you get a lot of counter trends during expiration week on Wednesday, and that may be one if you can find one that's very short or one that's just been blown out. And take a look at them then. We're looking at Apple, and I actually did kind of a special on Apple today in the Tech Insider. and you can get that, but it's one that you probably want to be thinking of. A lot of people are probably wondering why Apple's moving down and not doing much. They came out and started blowing about coming out with the iPad Mini. And why wouldn't that be a good thing? I mean, it sounds like a whole lot of more business. But there's probably some reasons you haven't thought of. I've brought up a few of them. I illustrated them today in the Tech Insider, and I think you probably want to watch it. But just remember, one thing that Wall Street hates is declining margins. And if you want to look at what kind of margins Apple's going to be making and is making on some of their products, and what happens when you are, let's say, you're Intel and you start making a product that competes with AMD. If it is if it's a $25 part, just how much money can you make? I mean, if it was free, you could only make $25. Now let's look at making a Xenon processor that costs $300, costs you $20 to make, and you're making enough of them that the cost to develop it was like $15 a piece. You're making $270 or $250 or $200 on something that costs you basically $30 to kick out the door. It's like printing money. So as your margins start to decay, boy, does the market dislike that. So anyway, that's kind of what the Tech Insider is about this week, and you can always get a free 2-week trial. I will be in the second hour of the Tom O'Brien Show. It will be the Steve Rhodes and Dave White Show for that second hour today. So we've got a ton of technical stuff to talk about. I mean, tech as in the tech business. So we'll continue watching the market out here. 1430, 2.1 billion shares. Not a whole lot to really crow about. Again, it is expiration week. We've had kind of a decent pullback. We did come within about a point of what I figure is the first level of support in the S&P, and it is expiration week. But I'm thinking that we could go short for a little while out here, and I think we've got a little bit more room to move to the downside. I'm kind of thinking that 1390 would be at least the first point at which this market might turn. It may take a little bit of time out here. Let's see if we have out here. Anyway, looking at that, we've got a lot of these stocks like IBM. They're so institutionally owned. I don't know if anybody could sell a share if they wanted to. But this thing's starting to make it look like it's got little ABC coming down, and probably looks like this thing could expire around the $200 mark on next Friday if we see any kind of additional market weakness. But we need to see IBM kind of show some strength. We need to show Apple needs to test that 621 on lighter volume. We need a few tests out here before I think we can flip the switch to going long again. Anyway, you'll have a great, safe day. See you at 5:20 Eastern in the Tom O'Brien Show, hosted by the Steve Rhodes.